So the three products that I decided to compare today are a pumpkin cake, a red velvet cake, and a chocolate cake. First, we're going to try the pumpkin cake. So there's obviously a hint of pumpkin in the pumpkin cake. The pumpkin cake is very sweet. It's not really oily at all, but it is extremely tough and chewy. Next up, we're going to try the red velvet cake. So the red velvet cake is somewhat sweet, but I think it more takes on the flavor of vanilla than anything else. It is pretty oily. I would say it is a lot more oily than the pumpkin. And it's somewhat tough, but not as tough as the pumpkin one was. Next up, we're going to try the chocolate cake. So I wouldn't say the chocolate cake is very sweet at all. It's more bitter, which I would say had something to do with the cocoa powder. It is pretty oily. I'd say it's the most oily out of all of these. However, it's not very tough at all. It has that cakey texture, very easy to chew. My first hypothesis is going to be regarding the sugar content. I would say that the pumpkin has the most, followed by the red velvet and then the chocolate. Looking at my ingredients lists over here, they all have the same serving size, which is 47 grams, so I won't be doing any math. I'll just be telling you how many grams. The pumpkin has 14 grams of sugar. The red velvet has 11, and the chocolate has 12. So I was actually wrong in the sense that I got the last two mixed up. The chocolate is sweeter or has more sugar in it than the red velvet. My second hypothesis is going to be regarding the fat content. I believe that the chocolate has the highest fat content, followed by the red velvet and then the pumpkin. The chocolate has 7 grams of fat, followed by the red velvet cake, which has 8 grams of fat, and then the pumpkin, which has 5 grams of fat. So I actually got these two wrong as well. My last hypothesis is going to be regarding the protein content, and I think the pumpkin has the highest, followed by the red velvet and the chocolate. Looking at my ingredients, the pumpkin has 2 grams, the red velvet also has 2 grams, and the chocolate has 3 grams. So I was wrong on this as well. I actually got it completely backwards.